How's everybody doing this morning?
Great.
We may have to feature Jermaine Burge every week.
Yeah.
Like a standing guest on the late night. We are excited to have everyone here. If you have not today done your civic duty, please do so and enjoy that opportunity as members of our great nation. We are excited to have Jermaine with us today to talk about his progress with the 36 Touch. This is going to be a really great conversation that we'll pop into right at the top of the hour. But it is everybody's on a journey, right, with their business and in their life and all these things. And so sometimes the person who sits at the front of the room will talk about all the success that they've had and cherry pick some things around how they got there. What's going to be cool about today's conversation is that Jermaine is less than 90 days into this journey of building his database, getting it cleaned up, and starting to actively engage with it. And so you're not just going to get a conversation about somebody's winning lottery numbers. You're actually going to hear about what he's doing and how he's thinking about this specific part of his business plan. So no pressure, man. It's got to be great. We are going to start as we always do to invite a couple of people. Do we have any first timers, new faces around here? Sir, I'm sorry, who are you?
Oh, I have agent of the mind, I forgot. I think I've been here before, but it might be 10 years ago.
I think you are you not coming up on 20?
Here?
Yeah. Right.
How long has it been here?
I think you joined in 2005.
I don't remember. I was in the second round. I was in the
20?
second round of people.
Yeah.
Is it that, when did we move in here? When
We
did
started in 2002.
here in Cleveland?
Yeah.
So then I think I'm probably 2003.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're old enough to drink now. 21 years with us.
Yeah, I still do that. I was gonna say I gave that up. No, I
Yeah.
don't.
So we like to start these with a little conversation about the belief system of Keller Williams and give anybody the opportunity to celebrate or call out somebody who has lived or they've seen engage with one of these beliefs, or just an experience that they had that reminded them of why they're so important.
I'll take a different twist on the win-win or no deal.
Okay.
Actually, I was gonna say, so she actually worked with Andrew on a deal too. I'm trying to get her to come in to see. There's an agent that I'm closing a deal with this week. Newer agent just in the spring. She's with another brokerage, obviously is not trained. So I'm helping her with her paperwork and making sure she does this. And oh, no, you have to put a pest inspection. It's a VA loan. And did you ask your lender, are they gonna allow the buyer to give you money towards your commission? Because they don't always do that on the VA side. And do I have to do that? Do I have to bring my culture to someone who's not in our brokerage? Technically not. I could probably have done things that maybe would have screwed her over a little bit. But that doesn't really make the transaction any better. It's not better for my seller. It doesn't make a smooth process. So went ahead and did that, talked to her last night. I was like, hey, have you ever thought of going to another brokerage? So she's like, I really liked my interactions with Andrew. I really liked my interactions with you. Maybe I will come. Whether she does or not, I don't know. But, you know, it still is, you know, that's what's going to get it to the end.
Yeah, there's two ways to think about culture. There's internal culture, right, which we all share and consume, and then there's the external culture, and that's really what do we give and show and emit to the rest of our ecosystem. And that's such a great example, and I know of so many people in this company and in this room that do the same thing, not just for agents in our office. Of course, it would make sense that help the guy who's struggling with his first contract, who's sitting in the cubicle next to you, but to do it for somebody that in any other real estate environment is gonna be pitched as your competition. I think that's what really makes these things pop, and the win-win is exactly what that is. If there are more better real estate professionals in our market, our lives get easier. Thanks for sharing that, Nicole. How about another one? Bernsey.
Yeah, I've got one for communication. I'm working with 77-year-old vet right now, and we're actually closing tomorrow. And he's just been like cool as a cucumber so far. Really nice guy. He's been very understanding. It's one of those situations where we've got like literally 3 transactions happening at once in a row, and this person needs to wait till this person moves out so this person can move in, and it's kind of delayed his possession a few days, and he's getting really frustrated. And 2 days ago, he just kind of like went off the handle, and my instinct was to be a little bit defensive about the process and talk about how we had expectations and how these things happen. But I called him up and I was like, John, like, what's going on, man? Like, there's something going on that you're not telling me. Like, I could just sense that, his frustration was coming from somewhere else. And remember, this is a 77-year-old vet, and for the first time in 51 years, he's not able to vote today because he doesn't have an address. So he felt like he couldn't register to vote, and that's where his frustration was coming from. He kind of took it out on the seller of this home, who is forced to not move out
Yeah,
according to his preferred timeline. And I think sometimes like we need to obviously listen to our clients, but we also need to hear what they're not telling us and dig a little bit deeper so we can truly understand like what's going on.
yeah. Yeah, society is generally a pretty agreeable and genial group. Unfortunately, though, because we don't react and give the aggression or the frustration to the thing or person, we're like, no, that I'm gonna be nice, and then we put it in our pocket, and then a whole day of being nice, at some point you are gonna be not nice to somebody that's just trying to help, right? Which is us as real estate professionals. And good on you for digging in and asking the question instead of, reacting.
Yeah.
I think the goal for us should always be that the yelling stops with us, right? Our clients are gonna yell at each other, our clients are gonna, the listing agent's gonna yell at us, and they're gonna yell at the inspector. They can yell at whoever you want, you just don't yell. And then all of a sudden, volume goes down, deal closes.
Why did he think he couldn't vote?
Well, I mean, that was kind of the second part of the situation, because like he's been living with his daughter for the last 2 months, so he's had mail go there, so he's technically living there. So like, I'm glad we had the conversation with
Well, where was he living 2 months before that?
Missouri. But it's okay, because like he, I think we figured out how to get him registered yesterday, believe it or not. Like he had to like scramble, and I'm still kind of waiting to hear how the situation went, but.
If nothing else, he could have voted a provisional ballot.
And that's kind of the direction I think his daughter and I figured out to help him. So
Awesome.
still kind of like working through that. I mean,
I-
sometimes we have to do things for people that we didn't anticipate. when we
Right,
got
right,
licensed.
right.
So just
And you
kinda
have to be the
help
expert in
them get
everything too,
registered.
right?
Yeah,
You're the expert in everything.
yeah. And it's like, it's an opportunity too for, like that situation goes with communication, it goes with win-win, it goes with a lot of different things.
Customer always comes first.
Yeah.
What does he need? He needs to register to vote.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's celebrate a few agent milestones. These folks, we had a lot of first closings last month, a really good sign for agents who got into the business somewhere, 2, 3, 6 months ago, getting their first one in the bucket. And so really excited to see that, a great sign for what we do here to continue to grow successful real estate agents. Also, these folks all added to their downline. So in our profit sharing system in Keller Williams, anytime somebody joins the company, they name a sponsor. That person is the individual that was most influential for that person ending up at Keller Williams. And so these folks were all a part of that for some people that decided that this was the best place for them to build their real estate business last month. So November birthdays, if we have anybody
November birthday.
who is.
Angie.
Angie, there we go. Happy birthday, Angie. When is it? Is it today?
No, it's November 23rd.
November 23rd.
Happy birthday.
That's a Saturday. That'll be a fun birthday. All right. Anniversaries. Anniversaries. So these are folks who are celebrating their anniversary with Keller Williams this month. So all of these folks are going to do another lap around the sun with us. We're excited to be in business with them. A few folks, their first anniversaries are these folks right here. 15-year anniversary for Marcia Hedberg. If you don't know Marcia, yeah, clap it up. She's not here, but we're recording this. If you don't know Marcia, she is pardon me?
Isn't she the pie lady?
Pie lady, that's you beat me to it. And she is she's a fixture on our Keller Williams Cleveland Cares Committee as well. All right, some upcoming training that we have. If you're interested in adding to your downline, which we just talked about, an easy way to do that for people inside or outside of the industry is to invite them to one of our informational sessions. They're called How to Become a Real Estate Agent or Career Night, but essentially it's a group session where we boil down what does a career in real estate look like, what should it look like, and then what does Keller Williams do to support individuals in being successful in our industry. We hear all the time about the dropout or fail out rates for our industry. They're 85% within the first 5 years, 30% within the first year. And that's not the case for the agents in our office who are taking advantage of what we have to offer. And so there's a different narrative that gets shared here. And so Nicole, maybe something like this is a little easy access and no pressure for that gal you're working with to just learn a little bit more.
What time again? 6 or 6:30?
So this is gonna be at 6 p.m. this month. So please note, the 12th is a Tuesday, 6 p.m. in Pepper Pike. The 16th, a Saturday morning, 11 a.m. in Lakewood. Trying something different, little curveball, seeing who we
It's
can
a
see.
Saturday.
It's a Saturday, all day long. And then December 3rd will be a Zoom session. So typically anybody we don't catch on the east side or west side, we'll try and steer into a Zoom session.
Is that 6 p.m.?
That'll be 6 p.m. on the 3rd, yes.
Thank you.
You bet. Here's our full training calendar. I want to highlight a couple of things. Price Like a Pro. I know there was some conversation. You probably saw some conversation on the Facebook group around, hey, does anybody know the data on pricing reductions and things like that? And I shared out that about 1 in 8 properties is taking a price decrease in any given 7-day period. Days on market also increasing not only because of seasonality, but because of where we are at from a market standpoint. And pricing is the end all be all for your listing selling, right? We all know that the phrase that gets tacked on every piece of feedback to every showing that we have is at this price. Backyard's too small at this price, right? Kitchen needs updated at this price. And so we are out of the market where listing a house is like putting it up for auction. Yes, multiple offers still exist. They typically exist for those properties that are priced appropriately. So make sure you have that one on your calendars. That'll be an awesome session. We're working on finalizing our panel there of some really talented listing agents who have seen all the markets that you can see. Today, Alex Ribb is going to be doing a session on taking a new lead all the way through to past client. Alex has a really great story. He spent 3 or 4 years as a transaction coordinator and then director of operations for the Socher team before getting his real estate license. And so he has all of his models and systems are ticked and tied like you wouldn't believe. And so he's gonna be sharing, hey, what do I do with a new lead that comes in? Maybe through, through Facebook or some pay-per-click ad to a website, and then how do I get it systematically all the way to this person referring me business once I close with them? So this will be a really good session. It's today at 1 on Zoom. Command offerings, Wednesdays at 1 PM, our regional tech trainer pops on and we'll do a deep dive into little vignettes on different applets for command and any updates and how to leverage those. Our growth collective continues this month, so Zoom sessions on the 7th and the 12th, and then an in-person session on the 20th. These are accountability groups where we will lock in on 1 or 2 specific things per person per week inside of a bucket of our business. It could be what we're going to focus on to generate more leads, lead conversion, database management. A couple months ago, we did 36 touch. So it's a great opportunity if you're like, I know what I need to do. I just need to be around other people that are also doing it. That's what this is meant to provide, as an outlet for you to come get some peer accountability as an independent contractor. And then our Launch Plus sessions, just want to remind everybody, these are available and open to everybody. Kelly, who's our director of onboarding and new agent launch, she is doing special sessions that go to like the 200 or 300 level of education on what would be like more general topics, like, oh, how do I use the MLS better? How do I really activate Dotloop to make it easier for me to write offers faster, or what have you. So her schedule, they're always Mondays at 1, and we'll be you'll get a bunch of information about those. And then our gratitude gathering, pull out those phones, get registered now. We're really excited to be doing this. Our partners at Cross Country Mortgage are going to host at their downtown headquarters in their private top floor executive lounge, our gratitude gathering. So we're really excited. Historically, we've done a brunch here in the morning in Pepper Pike and a happy hour in Rocky River or Lakewood in the afternoon. And, with those things, what has happened over the last several years is the company has become closer and closer and closer together, and there's more people that trade sides of town. So we said, hey, there's no point in doing 2 of these. Let's just get everybody together and use as an opportunity to recognize and be grateful for and celebrate each other. So we're really excited to be doing that with our partners at Cross Country. It's November 13th, 4 PM to 6 PM. All right, throw it around to our partners, then we'll get to our germane event.
That was good. How long did you work on that one?
That was amazing.
All night, all night. Why would you call me that? Loved it. All right. No one's from Ohio Real Title here today. Mr. Bullock. Are you related to Tom Bullock?
Sandra.
Okay. Great.
Appreciate it.
That's good.
You're not the only
I
question.
can't steal that line though. It's gonna be a tough one for me to use.
I'll keep it brief. I'm sure everybody knows the market's, had a rough time over the last 4 weeks. I hope that maybe after today, there's less speculation, the market calms down. That's probably wishful thinking, but we did kind of reach a floor here over the last couple of days. It seems like the rates have settled down. We're right around 7% at this point. Obviously, that's a stark difference from where we were about a month ago when we were about 3/4 better on rate. So Cross Country, we extended our buy now, refi later program. That's becoming a topic of conversation again, as it appears that people buying now are certainly going to be talking about refinancing in the next couple of years. So just so that program's out there. We waive our lending fees on refinance if they buy before the end of the year, and that's good for the full next year. So it's basically half off. All they pay for is title fees and an appraisal if necessary.
I'm sorry, what are you saying that you're offering now? What discount?
It's basically, we're gonna do a free refinance for them if they buy before the end of this year. and it's good for the next year. It just helped with the conversation of, well, I don't wanna buy now because rates just hit 7% again. Well, maybe we can ease that pain a little bit. We'll take a little haircut, do a free refi for you, and you can lock something in a little bit lower next year. Any questions or anything? If you need anything, let us know. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Liz from the Leverage Center.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
At the Leverage Center, we're really trying to figure out what you guys need help with. The goal is that we can take care of just about anything that you need, so you don't have to hire an admin, take on an admin salary. So if there's anything that you've thought of that you would like, please reach out to us and ask us. And I'm sure there's some way that we can figure out a way to do it for you, help you with it, that type of a thing. I know next week for the sales meeting, Tori is gonna be talking about, I think, some end of the year holiday type of stuff, so after today, as you're thinking about what you want your 36 touch to look like, just know that next week will be great too, because that'll be some ideas that you can use for the end of the year. And then in 2 weeks in Lakewood, I will be talking to you guys about Clarity Now, which is the new program that we kind of bought into and launched, that'll allow you to track all of the business planning, your expenses, all those types of things. We'll be going through a lot of those features. And I just wanted to say for that class, if you're coming, please bring your laptops so that you can be in there while we work through it.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Liz, and you'll be getting, everybody's getting follow-up to the business planning clinic today, even if you weren't there, detailing how to log into, how to leverage Clarity Now, how to explore different coaching opportunities within the company, and a number of other things as we lock in for 2025. And so be on the lookout for that. That'll come out this afternoon. And all of Clarity Now, the reason that we made the decision as a company to buy in and then deliver for every agent in our company is because it's a system built on the models of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. So everything that we teach to around leads, listings, leverage, or the economic lead generation, budget, and organizational models, they all are incorporated into that. So you can take your business plan and plug it in and then get your daily activities to get your annualized income through that system and also stay on track. So really powerful tool that aligns with what we do here.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Will information automatically come from the MLS into Clarity Now, or do you have to plug it in manually?
So currently you have to plug it in manually, but in the first half of 2025, a plugin with KW Command will pull that information in, right? So it'll start to talk to Command at some point in the first 6 months of next year, which means anytime you submit a commission request and get paid, it then will push through to your Clarity Now system.
Great.
We're hoping for first quarter, but I'm gonna say first half of the year. And hopefully you all forget that in case it happens in July. All right, KW Cares, we want to hear from Allison Benoit.
Just so you know, it is not going to be me every week. We have
Aw,
a lineup of dynamic 2-minute speakers scheduled out for the remainder of the year into the first quarter. But what I wanted to come up here and talk about is my personal story with Keller Cares. In addition to being on the committee, I was also a recipient. When I first came into real estate, coming from new construction, I thought I was going to be absolutely amazing because I knew how to sell a house. Well, real estate isn't just about selling a house, it's about getting clients, which is something I had no idea how to do. I sat in a model and people walked in and I closed them. So it was a rough 2 years, maybe year and a half. During that time, because things seem to hit you when you're down, my house got broken into and a lot of my possessions got stolen, one of which was my computer. And because I still wasn't really good at real estate, I was keeping my database on my computer, was not in the cloud. So I came into the office to ask, I believe it was Julia, what to do because I lost my entire database because my computer had been stolen. So we talked about how I'm gonna get it back. And the next day, without asking anybody, I received a call from the person who is then president of, or chair of Keller Cares, telling me that I was getting a direct deposit into my account to replace my laptop. And that is the kind of thing that Keller Cares does. And I didn't ask because I didn't even think to ask because, I don't know, I was in the middle of a crisis. But a crisis isn't health, it's not always hurricane. And sometimes your friends need you to say, hey, help her. And Julia and I are proof of that. Thank you.
Whenever we, have events like the Clam Bake, that is our largest fundraiser of the year for KW Cares as a single event, but the majority of the funds that we have for that committee come from agents giving $5 or $10 out of every deal. Right, so if you think about from a business planning standpoint, next year, whatever your goal is to do, if you were like, oh, I'll give $5, I'll give $10 per deal, that adds up pretty quick, right? We're just working through some stuff with an agent before, and the goal is 50 units. It's like, you're never gonna miss $5 on a $5,000 check. But then if you hit your 50 unit goal, that's a $250 gift over time. And then I think to myself, well, we've got, if it was $10, it'd be even better. Just consider that. But then, we're gonna sell 3,500 units as an office next year. So with, just a fraction of a fraction out of every deal, we could fund everything that we need to support our agents whenever tragedy shows up for them or their families. So that's really easy to do. You just email Kate and you say, hey, Kate, I want to give $5 out of every deal. I think it's Kate.
Yeah, it is me.
Okay. She looked at me like, I don't think I did that. Congratulations, Kate, you do now. Thank you for considering that. And also, as you interact with people inside of the office, and if you hear something or can identify a need, it's the great irony of many charities is they run out of people to help because they, people don't think to ask for help during a crisis. And so we have to think to ask for it. All right, to the main stage, we're gonna bring Jermaine Burge. How about a round of applause? Do that, round. Pretty good. All right, Jermaine, tell us about yourself, tell us about your business, how long you been doing this, how'd you find your way to Keller Williams?
Been licensed for over 5.5 years now.
Okay.
So I was working actually with CMHA inspections department, left there, went straight to school. Did my 3 weeks and been full-time ever since.
Now, as we know, everybody's got somebody that convinced them or at least invited them to check out Keller Williams. Who was that for you?
So while I was working with CMHA, I met Uday Patel. And he had said, I had seen him on a few inspections or whatever, and he was like, man, you make a good a realtor. I'm like, they think nothing about it. And so as the years went on, I would see him pretty often on different inspections or whatever. And actually tried to get my wife to become a realtor. And she was like, no, that's not me or whatever. So as I began to meet different landlords and investors while working there, I started to become intrigued about it. And so when I left there, went straight, got my license, and I'm here.
That's awesome. Well, we're happy you are. We're happy, Uday could have been just trying to butter you up for our
Probably.
CMHS, but I think it worked out well for all of us. Because we're here today, we're gonna talk about what you've been doing with your 36 touch plan. So for everybody, when what does that mean? What is a 36 touch plan? Why is it called that?
In simple terms, you're touching your database 3 times a month or 36 times a year.
So in other, in non-Keller lingo, it's just gonna be your marketing plan, right? Is effectively what it is. So, why did you decide that this was the thing that you were gonna focus on here in the last few months?
So, started coaching, with Eric, and, within the first couple sessions, that was one thing that he had brought up, 36 touch, and kind of explained it. And, I've always wanted to be able to touch my clients in different ways, but normally it's just been with, the clients that I've transacted with. I would send them a Merry Christmas or a holiday or something like that, but not a full database. So when he brought that out, when he brought it up, I'm like, okay, this sounds pretty interesting. And didn't know how involved it would be, but at least it gave me the opportunity to touch the database throughout the year. Because we always want to be top of mind when they're thinking about a realtor.
So what did your database look like before you started? Because I imagine this room, there's people who've got, everything down to wedding anniversaries locked in there. And then there's other folks who are maybe just dealing with a shoebox full of business.
Yes. So my database was pretty ugly. It was a lot of, so what happened was, me and my wife's contacts synced up. It's like a long time ago. So when we came out with Command, initially, that was, my thought was I'm gonna really work Command. So I imported, or I had one of the, I think Julie or Carrie, one of them imported all of the names that was in my phone into Command. It was like 1,000 something names. And so didn't really do anything with it, was, motivated for that moment. And then I kind of fell off or whatever. So, so once Eric presented this, and then I decided, okay, I want to pursue this. I had to do a lot of cleanup. I don't know if I'm going past here.
This is perfect.
So I had to do a lot of cleanup. So I went in and deleted all of my contacts. So that I can have a clean slate. So when it was all said and done, I also used Google Sheets. Listed all of my contacts and my database that I've, met or whatever. And then I imported all of those back into Command to have a clean database. So yeah, initially it was an ugly database.
Did you get any help from the Leverage Center along the way?
I did.
So for anybody that feels like they have an ugly database and knows that there's something else, and there's some good in there. I think that it's a funny thing, right? You hear the data around, oh, for every 200 people in your database, there's 12 deals, and 10 more referrals. And nobody knows they're in your database. And if all you've got is like a name that's like Brad from Jimmy John's, and you don't have an email or a home address, you're gonna have a harder time really understanding how to help that person. So
Wanted to ask something real quick.
yeah, that's fine. You can do the interview.
You said you deleted all of your contacts. You put them back in
Yeah.
another way. Oh,
Yeah, I deleted them all in Command. And
okay.
then when I cleaned it up in Google Sheets, I had Tori and Carrie to help me out. I imported them back into Command. So at that point, I had a clean, legitimate.
And it
database.
wasn't 1,000 people.
No, it was like when I first did it, was like 300 and a little over 300 people. That was
Okay.
it.
You say you first did it, so have you been added to that database?
Yes,
Okay, what's it
Yeah.
at now?
I'm at about 480 now.
Okay. That's the laws of the database, right? Is you build a database, communicate to it in a systematic way, and then feed it every day. Ben,
So you use Google Sheets instead of Excel?
I think you can do the same thing, both.
Yeah.
Google Sheets are just kind of a little more.
similar
user-friendly.
functionality, yeah, because when it's going back in a command, you just need to download it as a CSV file.
And then I could just open it up on my phone at any given moment.
And add somebody on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through Gmail, so it
Nice.
just works.
Did you tag each one as they went back in to your database? Like,
So it's still a work in progress, so I do have to, I am gonna be adding tags, for like investors and, tagging my past clients' birthdays and different things like that. So some people will get more than 36 touches that I've transacted with. You know, for, like I said, birthdays or whatever. But yeah, I will be going back and tagging different people.
So, and let's talk about that for a second, because, you know, I can feel the room thinking like, well, I don't want everything to go to everyone because these clients are special and these clients are not special and all these other things. Like, you're just starting out and saying, I'm gonna talk to the world. That world being your database. And you already can tell, like, my investors are gonna want to need something. So is that a conversation you've had with Eric around, like, you know, let's crawl, walk, run in terms of having 6 different touch programs, which is where this could ultimately end up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I haven't had that discussion. I kind of got a grip on it now. So right now it's just a matter of me going in and tagging, like I said, investors, or tagging the birthdays of different clients and tagging the home anniversaries or whatever. Every touch, majority of touches will be the same information, but when I want to individualize it or group it off, then, you know, be different touches for those particular groups.
Talk to us a little bit about, what sort of touches are you doing? What have you done in the last 100 days since you started this project?
So most of my touches have been, actually, all of my touches, no, most of them have been emails, mass emails. I've done social media. Social media is not, you don't really touch everybody in your database, but social media, you just want to post something that's, you know, you feel is intriguing, that'll get you a lot of comments, so that you can have conversations within whatever social media format you're using. But what was I saying first?
You doing emails?
Yeah, so yeah,
touches?
emails. So yeah, emails have been mass emails about holidays. I've pretty much tried to get every major holiday. It hasn't been a whole year for me yet, so it's like Mike said in the beginning, it's 90 days. I don't even think it's been that long. But so I got a touch coming up for Thanksgiving. I did a touch for Halloween, and ChatGPT has become a really good friend. When you don't know what to say, a lot of times I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I ask ChatGPT, hey, what can I say? What are they related to mass email, whatever, and it'll give you something really good to say. And so I'll copy a image off of Google and paste it in there, copy and paste what ChatGPT said, and then so I did a touch for home preventive maintenance for the fall. And so I added referral names in there. So just kind of, you know, showing that I can be a resource coming from contribution. And so got some feedback. A couple people have responded, hey, you know, who would you refer first out of this group? Or so it's just just creating a conversation, getting feedback, like we said, just trying to be top of mind on when everybody's thinking about a real estate agent.
Is there any, I'll get to you guys in just a second. Was there any anxiety around like the first time you said, because you're doing this for the first time, right? Are you afraid that you're gonna, oh my God, I got 300 unsubscribes? Or like somebody called you up and was like, how dare you send me a Halloween email?
No, I didn't have any anxiety sending out. The anxiety was building the whole thing.
Okay.
Because so for me, when Eric challenged me with this, he was saying, you know, you get paid, I forgot the name of it, I think it was Upwork, and they'll, you know, find people's addresses and emails and all that. So what I decided to do was actually reach out to everybody that's in my database. I reached out to people that I didn't have their phone numbers on social media, And I just made a generalized message and copy and pasted it in my text and my posts, direct messages and Instagram, Facebook. And so, that's how I built the database from like 300 something to ongoing still. And it was very eye-opening because I think I had like 20 people that I moved straight to my pipeline from doing that. So it was just copy and paste, and people were reaching out, hey, I was just thinking about, selling my house, or I was thinking about buying a house. So those people went right to the pipeline, and I just decided to reach out personally. I just made that a touch. One of my first touches was just reaching out to them.
That's so important, right? Cause you could have spent money, right? Which is not leading with revenue. You could have spent money and paid somebody with, with the time and the resources to go find email addresses and phone numbers and home addresses for everybody in your database. Or you could just, like, if the goal is to communicate with them, just communicate with them, right? So you call people and say, hey, I got something I want to send you, and I realized I didn't have your email address. Hey, we've been Facebook friends for 7 years, and I realized that I don't even have your phone number, right? Or I don't know where you live. And it's like, we're in Northeast Ohio. If you ask somebody, hey, where do you live? They're gonna give you an address. Like, they're not in a weird way. What's that? I've been asking Satrina for her address for a while. I got it. So that in and of itself, that's a touch, right? Like, whether it's a DM or a text message or a phone call or a direct email where you're asking for somebody to build out the rest of their database for you. It's also how important, or what sort of reactions did you get when you were like, I don't know, did you tell them you were building out your database? Did you tell them you wanted to start sending them marketing? Was it?
So yeah, so text message, but actually all just said the same thing.
Yeah.
I personalized it, I put their name, I was like, hey, what's up, Pam or whoever. And say I was reaching out because I'm gonna be sending out flyers, emails, mailers, in regards to real estate, and just reaching out to everybody in my database. Now, of course, social media, got the scammers and all that. So I've had a couple people call, which was actually a good thing.
Yeah.
Call and say, I just want to make sure it was you, because I will leave my number. I will say, hey, if you're not comfortable sending it this way, you can text me directly or call me directly.
That's smart.
So some people will call, but I just want to make sure it was you. And some of those people turned into, right into my pipeline. So, yeah, that's kind of how it worked out.
What percentage of people, let's say you asked 100 people for that to help you build out your database, what percentage were like, no?
Very small percent. I've had people that still haven't responded.
Yeah.
But had a few people say, they weren't comfortable giving an address. I don't care. I feel like, because most of my touch is gonna be emails and mass text anyway. So if I got your email and phone number, that works. I would like to have the address, but I'm not gonna, pressure nobody for their address. But yeah, it's a very small percentage of people that haven't responded. And then, so what happened, I put their information into, my Google Sheets or Command or whatever, and went back to kind of do some cleanup, and just noticed that, some people, I didn't have their emails that I know would be comfortable giving me their email. They just probably didn't read the text message right. So they just gave me their address and their phone number. So I said, hey, I just go back, hey, I think you forgot to send me your email, whatever. And they sent me the email. So still doing a little cleanup, but it's, just a matter of just reaching out to people.
So you're building this bike as you ride it, right? So you're doing the touches, but then, we're sitting on the edge of 2025. And so you start to think about like that whole year strategy, and what are some things that you're looking forward to doing next year, or some things that you're, that, hey, come next October, I'm gonna do the same Halloween message. I don't know. Is there anything that you've learned just about like, all right, 36 seems like a big number, and if I make it feel small?
So for the most part, what's next year looking like it's kind of gonna be, well, at least for September to the end of this year, is gonna look pretty much the same for the most part, as far as what I'll be sending out. January through August, I have everything already in there. I try to do it like 3 months in advance. But I have the idea of what I wanna do or what kind of touch I wanna do already in there. So once 2026 come, I got a whole year already that's already pretty much planned out. Now you can, go in and if you wanna change something up or wanna maybe switch a email to maybe an event or something like that, then, but yeah, so next year I do have a few events that I've been challenged to do. That's not my thing. So I've been challenged to do that, but yeah, once you've done the heavy lifting, after that, every year is just a matter of just maintenance and, switches here and there.
So you were really intentional about not building out all 36 touches before you did your first touch.
No,
Like you just were like, hey, how do I get to the end of the year
mhm,
with 3 touches a month?
right. And then once, I'm into 2025,
Yeah.
my touches for that, I already kind of have the first half of the year, what I want to do.
Yep.
So,
would you give that advice to everyone sitting in this room who doesn't have a systematic marketing plan? It's just like pick a few things and do them before the end of the year?
yeah, so I went in, so I actually have just wrote ideas of what I was thinking about, just different touches, because some of the touches are gonna repeat. So, like I do a fall maintenance, a winter maintenance, a spring clean, a summer, so you do the same thing, you just have different wording. So that's, 4 touches right there, it's pretty much kind of the same. And then the mass text, holidays or whatever, Martin Luther King Day or, whatever, Christmas. Like for Thanksgiving, just sending out a thankful text or email to my database or all my clients.
Question.
Yeah, but then it's.
The, so 36 touch, I mean, are those basically templates that is in command that you access?
No, so you make your own, like if you want to put a flyer, like I said, for me, for the flyers that I've done so far, I just copied them from Google. Just do the search like a.
Oh, so you gotta make them from scratch then?
Well, you don't have to make them from
You are
scratch, you just copy them.
Yeah.
You download them from, so,
No, I'm saying is that command does not provide.
So yeah, so there are 36 touch, like, or email templates inside of Command, inside of Design.
Oh, there is, okay.
So like, that's one thing
Inside
you
of
can
what
do.
now you said, design?
Designs is the name of the applet in Command. You
Okay.
can also do it as, hey, I'm gonna blank carbon copy everybody, or I'm gonna use MailChimp or Constant Contact to email in mass, right? This thing that it sounds like Jermaine is going and grabbing a Google image, having ChatGPT write some text, and then pounding it into people's inbox.
And that's
Command.
through
Command.
yeah,
Through Command.
I use
So-
Command to send out
yeah.
emails. So,
Then your third option is just to hire Tori to do it for you. So Trina,
How many people do you actually, when you started this, how many people are you talking to, actually speaking to? Just curious.
I haven't spoken to anyone. Only people that I've spoken to are people that I've reached out to and they weren't comfortable sending their information via social media.
And
or somebody you had in your pipeline, I would
Yeah,
imagine, like
right.
somebody who's like, hey, I'm thinking about selling, is probably, you're probably showing up with a sign.
Yeah,
So
but that is
so
gonna
past
be-
customers, you don't, I mean, like your group of people, say you sold houses to this year.
Mhm.
Have you talked to any of those people?
So I will be doing a touch every quarter for my old database.
Okay,
Actually calling and talking to them.
okay.
That is one of my touches
Okay.
per quarter.
So you got one phone call per quarter. You got one monthly email, you got one newsletter about maintenance. right? All of a sudden, okay, there's 18 of my 36, I'm halfway there and all I've done, and then some holiday and event-based text messaging. Anything that, you said that you're thinking about putting some events in next year, but not really your thing, but you're being challenged to. Talk a little bit about the coaching relationship and how that is, what does that look like in relation to this, and how is that challenge coming across from Eric?
Well, I mean, the challenge is coming across, we all know Eric is, kind of laid back. I mean, pretty much laid back, not gonna holler and growl at you. So, he presents it, and either you're gonna, he'll ask you, is this something you want to do? But for me, as kind of a competitor, when you ask something, if it seems like something that I can do, even though it's not comfortable for me, but I believe it's gonna help my business, I'm gonna step up to the challenge and get it done the best way I can. The thing about coaching is just being transparent and being honest. If there's something that I feel like I won't do or be able to do in a certain time frame, I'll let you know. Hey, I need a little bit more time. But as far as just coaching period, it's been challenging, but it's been a good challenge. It's already, taken my mindset to a whole nother level. And just putting this in place, this 36 touch, and just doing this for a little over 2 months now, coaching has been, it's been great. No complaints. Like I said, the anxiety was just, putting stuff together, and some stuff I didn't even know why I was doing it. I'm just gonna trust you as my coach, and then eventually, okay, this makes sense now. So.
Yeah, that's great to hear, and thank you for sharing that. With respect to, question what am I gonna ask? Oh, I want to talk more about these 20 people you added to your pipeline.
Okay.
Tell me more about that.
Okay.
Sorry, I feel like we kind of skipped over that, but I think most of the room would take 20 pipeline ads pretty quickly.
Yeah, so like I said, I reached out.
Is anybody under contract? Has anybody signed anything yet?
I am going out shopping with a couple people now.
So you got a signed buyer out of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Couple listings that'll be coming up from that. So yeah, they just reached out. Hey, I was thinking about, buying, and then a lot of them have been, a lot of them are people that are looking like in a few months. So, database is what people that you think could be transacted within a year or so. So, pipeline, within a year or so. So, some of them be a little bit later on, once the new year hits. But, I have a few now that I'm working with, that we should be, transacting before the year's out.
Does having the plan make you feel more comfortable with hitting your goals, different than maybe in the past where you'd set a goal and it's like, well, I don't know really how I'm gonna get there. Now you've got at least one pillar for your business. Is that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I definitely feel a lot more comfortable with getting more business. Now that I know I'm reaching out to people constantly. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not, but at least I have something in place that I know I'll be touching people, almost 500 some people right now, that I'm pretty sure is gonna turn into business.
Yeah, think about those folks. Let's just take the 20, right, out of the 500. So, what is that? 2%? 4% of those people. It's a percentage. They're gonna transact with somebody, right?
Yeah.
But for you doing the outreach, right? If we talk to people, we get the opportunity to help them. And now you just have a structure and a system inside of Command with reminders and the platform to push communication to them or know when you need to call and who you need to call and who needs to get a birthday card or birthday text, like all of that coming together such that if you stay in enough conversation with enough people, you're gonna do business. Like, that's the simple truth of the 36 touch. And if you never start that, you know, these people are gonna just hope, maybe they remember you're a realtor in the modern world and how much people get marketed to by everything else in the universe. I mean, that's why over 70% of people list with the first realtor they meet. Is because it's just like, oh, I need it now. Well, if we're in constant communication with people, and 36 is the minimum, as you said.
Yeah.
There's people that are past clients or friends, family members, or former colleagues that are gonna get even more. They're gonna hear from you on average once a week. But that's what it's gotta be for us to be what they think of when they think of real estate. Otherwise, they're gonna think of somebody else. What questions do we have for Jermaine? We got some good audience participation here. I wanna make sure we maximize that.
Do you have an unsubscribe on your email?
I don't think so.
I think command has that built in, I
Okay,
think,
cool.
for TCPA compliance.
Are you sending it directly through Command or are you taking the names and sending it from your regular email?
No, I'm sending it through Command.
So you build it in the campaigns widget and then assign it to everybody in your database.
Yeah, that seems much easier.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, well, and it does better with the spam filters, like. If you BCC 500 people, like Google won't let you send the email, or it'll just put it in everybody's spam folder.
Yeah.
What are you using for mass, like text?
So I haven't sent a mass text, but I have been in talks with Tori. So she's gonna walk me through that. Yeah.
So Command also has, like, you all get texts from the office from time to time, and we use Twilio, which has. Bolts into Command so that you can automate, schedule, a text on somebody's birthday will automatically come from you. If their birthday's in Command and they're on the birthday text smart plan.
And
Right,
if they're
so-
what was the last part?
Birthday text smart plan. God, that sounds hard. Oh, something's gonna happen automatically for me to make somebody feel like they're in a relationship with me? Nah, Sabrina ain't got time for that. So Twilio would be where I'd start.
Check the box.
Yeah.
My hair looks like-
What else do you wanna know?
Yeah, you supposed to go time.
If somebody wanted to, I don't know, learn a little bit more from you, understand what you're doing, would it be okay if they reached out and asked you some more questions?
For sure.
Guys, let's give it up for Jermaine. Be excited to do this again, next election, we can see what 4 years of the 36 touch program. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming out. Please, encourage everybody who made the trip in.